The reason for doing this, as we all, is the ratio of the squares. As the traffic volumes go up and the ability to carry traffic is deteriorating, proper administration and access, the overall speed on the network diminishes. As the overall speed on the network diminishes, the market area is undermined and nobody can afford to keep their doors open. This is what happened to us further to the west on this corridor. It's a very, very common phenomenon, yet it's a mistake we make time and time and time again. This turned out to be a very useful graphic for us in working with the community. The access functions were so very important. All of them had to be necessary, arterial, collector, and local. These were lacking sorely in the sections of the corridor to the west, and we don't hesitate to use that as an example of the pain and suffering that we want this community to avoid. Around the area to the east, to the west, Wichita metropolitan area, there are a fair number of properties that had challenging accessibility following the freeway retrofit because there wasn't sufficient attention given to the arterial and the collector and the local street network outside of the freeway. And when everything went south about the middle of 2008, there were some serious market corrections in this area. The limited access and the lack of internal connectivity resulted in retail vacancies along sections of this corridor of 50%. And once these things went dark, they stayed dark. They were not absorbed. No section or no segment of the market was immune from this. And cases where major chains went bankrupt and had to close stores, like in the case of this Circuit City, it was still interesting that no one else was willing to go in and occupy the space. It could not be reabsorbed. It's gotten to the point where in my appraisal practice, I almost will not accept an assignment to try to determine the market value of commercial land, because I have absolutely no way of knowing what the absorption period will be. It's a really rather risky time to be in this particular business. In trying to impress upon people in the Andover community the urgency of this particular issue, because after all, those problems further to the west aren't biting them on the tail just right yet, we found that by going back and showing them some historical photography of the Andover Road intersection area from 30 years ago and showing them what a difference 30 years can make, and then explaining to them that in another 30 years when this freeway retrofit actually does come through, all of the decisions they make today will determine the reality that they face with the freeway retrofit. If they wait until the problems are chomping on their hindquarters directly, it'll be too late. All of the best options will already be foreclosed, and they will be right back in the same situation that Wichita found itself in.